I actually did not experience much racism at all growing up in Ohio. And I can't believe that people are still racist. That is so gay. What's crazy is that if you grew up amongst a lot of white folks as an Indian person, sometimes you were referred to by members of your own race as an almond. Some of you know where I'm going with this. Because you are brown on the outside and white on the inside. And I was like, all right, that was not offensive at the time. In the 80s, it was a long time ago. But I prefer the term coconut, because we're hairy. Hey, Indians are hairy, man. The men, too. I turned 30, and I flipped out. I realized I had spent my entire life in Ohio. I took it really, really hard, and the people said to me then, and they still say to me now, age is just a number. All right, fine, then your weight is just a number. Your height is just a number. Your credit score is just a number. Your cholesterol is a number. Your blood pressure, those are just numbers, right? But numbers have value, which implies they have meaning. They mean something. Like, doesn't it already feel like this year has moved so fast? It's shorter than any year so far, right? Well, there's some math to that. I'm gonna break it down, all right? My son, I have a son, by the way. My son is turning 2 years old. I know. He's turning 2 years old, so this next year of his life is 50% of it, right? 1/2, 50% of his life, it's gonna feel really long to him. This next year, I'm almost 50. I know, black don't crack, brown don't frown, that's what I'm saying. So this next year is 2% of my life. So to me, it's gonna feel really short, to him, it's gonna feel really long. And the only reason I tell you that is to depress the hell out of everyone in the room. No, I say it because I want people to stop saying age is just a number. It's crap. In fact, toilet paper is a very good analogy, in fact, because when you sit down and check to see how much toilet paper is left, hopefully in the reverse order, you check and then you sit down. When you think half of the roll is left, there's actually less than half left because of the way that circumference works. Think about it, right? There's more on the outside than there is on the inside, like people in LA. So my analogy is that life is like toilet paper. The less that's left, the faster it goes. I'm not sure when this turned into a TED Talk. But that's okay. I turned 30, I flipped out, and I moved to California, moved to Los Angeles, specifically to be a full-time comedian and an actor. I am an actor. Although you haven't, yeah, sure, no, thank you. You haven't seen me in anything, so I'm like an auditioner. I actually booked a very weird role recently. On Netflix, there's a show called Indian Matchmaking. Some of you will know this show, and not only the brown people, a lot of people know this show, they're watching it. They now have Jewish matchmaking, they're expanding it into a franchise. And if you don't know the show, or even if you do, it's about Indian matchmaking. It's a very coy title. So I actually do the audio description for the show. Some of you will not know what that is. I will explain. If you go in Netflix into settings and turn on audio description. I know it's hard to say, Mom, I made it, when you have to tell them to go into the settings. But it's for the seeing impaired. It helps them hear what's going on. You narrate the show. It's really kind of a crazy thing. It's kind of cool to be able to do this. I don't know. It's the role that I was able to book. But that show cracks me up. Indian Matchmaking cracks me up. If you've seen it, or even if you haven't, the star of the show is someone named Sima Aunty. And what her job is to connect South Asians together romantically, and she is right about 0% of the time. That's a strange premise for a show. It'd be like turning on SportsCenter. Here's all the shots Steph Curry missed last night. I don't want to see that. I want to see my boy traded from 10 feet behind the three-point line. It's crazy. But she'll say that stuff. She'll criticize, especially the women. She's a little sexist. Sima Aunty. She will say to the women, "Mia beti, you have too many criterias." She takes this word criteria and she makes it even more plural. To show you how single you are. It's true that she'll say to them, she'll go, "You know, you get 60, 70% of what you're looking for, it's okay." Really, Auntie? When's the last time I could bring home a 60, 70% on a math test? So I book a bar gig in Brisbane. My dad's brother has lived in Brisbane with his family for over half a century. Go to Sydney, and I don't know if you've been to Australia or not, but Aussies are some of the best crowds in the world. They are amazing, because to make them laugh, all you have to do is make fun of the British. They invaded 90% of the countries on the planet. You know that? At the time, it was 90% of the countries on the planet. And I always wondered, how did they do it? I remember asking a British friend of mine, we just celebrated July 4th, when's your Independence Day? He just stared at me until it hit me. Oh, that's right, you don't have one. You just have days that other countries gain their independence from you. But how'd they do it? I think it's that voice. That British accent does something to people. We're either intimidated by it, we're scared of it, we find it sexy. Something's going on with that voice. It just gets people. The thing is, we kicked them out of the United States over 200 years ago. And we invited them back in when we needed judges for American Idol. And America's Got Talent. And Top Chef. Because it sounds better coming from them. We still want them to judge us. Why is that? Why are we seeking we broke up with them. They should be seeking our approval. But I guarantee you they are not. You were never gonna see the Great British Bake Off hosted by Larry the Cable Guy. You can use the British voice to your advantage. If you ever need a late checkout from a hotel, use the British voice. Because Azhar and I were in Hyderabad, and we've been talking and solving the world's problems till 6 in the morning. We realized we need a late checkout. We can't really do a great British accent. We call up Mo Ammer, a really good friend of ours. And he's in Cairo. We put him on FaceTime. We call down to the front desk. He can do a spot on British accent. I can't. I'm an Indian guy doing an impression of a Palestinian guy doing an impression of a British guy. So, Polaroid in the sun, okay? It's not gonna be quite as good, but he goes, "Cheerio, could you just be a dear? And do you mind giving us, our flight got rerouted through Spain? Is there any way maybe you can give us like a 4 p.m. checkout?" He asked for a 4 p.m. checkout. And we got it! Do you have any idea how late that is? That's an hour later than the check-in of the next day. And it's a really late checkout. And by the way, my wife's family hates this show because they're Gujarati and they run hotels and stop telling everybody how to get a late checkout. It's because everything sounds right in that accent. If I say to you right now, "Sir, 2 and 2 is 5, you're like, "No, it's not." But if I go, "2 and 2 is 5, love," you gotta think about it. That's right. Because the British are smart, I'm sure that's probably applicable to them like anyone else. They get a lot of credit because of that accent. They're not that smart. Right? You do know that the British used to send their criminals to Australia. I'm not making that up. You know that, right? Australia was a penal colony for the British. But I don't know if you've been to Australia. It's a way better place than England. It's warmer, it's larger, cooler animals. I think if the British were really that smart, they would have gone to Australia and left the criminals in England. So true. Needless to say, the Aussies ate that up. And while we were planning the trip, we thought, while we're in the area, we'll go to Africa. Clearly, we went to U.S. public school. And if you're not laughing, so did you. Because Africa is nowhere near Australia. We found this out the hard way. We're like Southern Hemisphere. How far could it be? Really, really far. I got news for you. The Southern Hemisphere is just as big as the Northern Hemisphere. 18 hours later, after connecting through Singapore, we land in Johannesburg. And we loved South Africa because my wife's mom was born in South Africa. In fact, we have a lot of family down there, and we loved it. We loved everything about South Africa, except for the name. They sort of gave up when they named the place, didn't they? What direction is it? South. What continent? Africa. Done. We're not going to put any more thought into this at all. Then again, we do the same thing here in the United States. We have stores here called mailboxes, etc. Linens and things. Bed Bath Beyond. What's the etc.? What things? Anything could be in that Beyond section. What's in it? We flew home through Paris, so that was Europe for us. And the French, being the French, insisted that every comedian on the lineup at this bar gig do at least one joke in French. I've not taken French since college. Does anyone here know what the word is for now in French? Wow, look at this, very cultured audience. Literary and cultured, I love this. That's right, maintenant. Maintenant. 3 syllables, that's a long word for now. By the time you get finished saying maintenant, it's no longer maintenant. They like that one too, okay. Good, glad. Good. The other place I feel totally stupid is in the post office. You hardly ever go to the post office anymore. So when you walk in, it feels like this foreign land, right? I walk in there, I'm standing there with my letter, and I'm like, what the hell is going on at the US Postal Service? No wonder the government can't keep track of these documents. Metered mail, stamped mail. What the hell is metered mail? This has a stamp on it. Does that mean? Because once I drop it in there, it's all over. "16 ounces or less." Should that be fewer? How much is 16 ounces? I'm not standing in that line. I know I drink 12 ounces of beer. Is that the same? That's fluid ounces, right? I knew I should have smoked pot instead. Yeah, bro, that's an ounce. Sometimes I wish I would have smoked pot, because I think I would have been one of those one-liner stoner comedians. Because those one-liner stoner comics crack me up. I love that stuff. Especially when they say things like, shoot for the moon. That way, if you miss, at least you'll land amongst the stars. Whenever people say that to me, I think, wow, this person does not understand astronomy. I'm thinking about getting one of those Jesus is my co-pilot bumper stickers, just so I can use the carpool lane. If you're a smartass, do you have a wisecrack? You know, my Buddhist friend sends me emails with "please see detached." I went to an Amish wedding and they all did the acoustic slide. The other day I was on a Zoom and everybody put their names and pronouns like he, him, and she, her. I changed my entire name to Michael Jackson. Just so I could be. I just found out that was a meme. I'm like, I don't know if I should be proud or ashamed. I don't know. I love Michael Jackson, man. I grew up on Michael Jackson. Yes. It wasn't just the little boys. He touched us all. And